The eruption in the lower east rift zone continues at about the same strength or vigor as we have observed in the past 1 to 2 weeks. Lava is upwelling from Fissure 8, forming a lava fountain and flowing through a channel all the way to the ocean. At the ocean, the flow front is quite wide. It's approaching a mile wide, and lava is entering the ocean at multiple spots along that flow front. We've not seen any detected change in the vigor of the eruption at this point. Up at the summit, there was another seismic event, an explosive event that occurred early this morning at about 2:44 a.m. Hawaii time. This event followed 12 to 24 hours of increased seismic activity, very similar to the pattern of the explosive seismic events of the past 1 to 2 weeks. This particular event was accompanied by additional subsidence of the crater floor right next to the Mau crater rim. One of our stations showed a lowering of about 10 feet as a result of last night's explosive event. This is pretty common, very characteristic of these events, and probably represents downdropping of that station as well as slumping toward the Mau crater.
Hi, any updates in terms of the amount of new land created? Any updated figures?
Good morning. Hi, this is Steve. No, I don't have any new information yet. We will be putting out a new map a little bit later in the day, and so that might provide a little bit more information, but I don't have that number right at my fingertips right now.
Thanks.
Hi, I had another question. So when it was announced yesterday that there were some 600 homes estimated to have been lost in this latest volcanic, the eruption event since May 3rd, all told, I just wanted to know, I know you guys don't track homes, but I think you know something of the history of other destructive earthquakes, and from what I can tell, this was. I talked to somebody. I got a hold of a scientist, Dr. Snellen from University of Dr. Rowland from University of Hawaii in Manoa, and he said he was sure this was certainly the most, in terms of property damage or property losses, that this would have been the most destructive earthquake in the United States since the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens. And I don't know if is there anything going back, but I know there was the Katmai earthquake in Alaska, but this was out in the middle of nowhere. I think there was a Lassen Peak quake in 1915. Again, that was pretty. I doubt there was a whole lot in terms of property losses out there. Or is there anything else either on Hawaii or Alaska or anywhere else anybody knows about, or the Cascades that has since going back further than Mount St. Helens that destroyed this many properties in one go?
Hi, this is Steve. Just to clarify, the different events that you're describing were volcanic eruptions, not earthquakes. And I think Scott, Dr. Rowland's estimation is accurate, that this eruption has covered more homes and property than the eruptions at Kilauea, say during 1990 and 91, when Kalapana was covered with lava, and also more homes and property lost this time around compared to 1955 and 1960 at Kilauea.
Okay, thank you. I misspoke. Of course, I meant volcanoes, not earthquakes. Sorry about that. And there's, I don't know if there had been anything at Mauna Loa. I think there was a big Mauna Loa eruption in 1984 or something. I think, but again, I don't think it lasted about 3 weeks, and I don't reckon there was a lot of property losses from that either. Is that right?
The 1984 eruption of Mauna Loa did not generate lava flow that moved into a subdivision like the lava flows of the past 4 weeks. So during that eruption, there were no homes lost. Before that time, Mauna Loa erupted in 1950 and did generate lava flows that went to the west coast of the island and did bury some homes and communities on that side of the island.
Okay. So you don't know what the extent of that was, like in terms of losses of homes or communities? And
not off the top of my head. If you take a look at the HVO website, go to the Mauna Loa section and look in the geologic history part, there's a little summary about the 1950 eruption. There may be some numbers like that you can pull from.
Hi, thanks. Is it possible for new fissures to open at this point?
This is Steve Brantley. Yes. The eruption is still going quite strong. For the past couple of weeks, the activity has been focused at Fissure 8. It certainly is possible for some of the other fissures to become active, or perhaps for even a new segment or a new fissure segment to become the eruption site in the near future. But just want to make it clear, this is not something that we're predicting. We can't really predict that. What we're trying to do is to measure keep track of the overall risk zone and where it's becoming pressurized as perhaps an indication to say where an additional extrusion or a new fissure might form. But for the past few weeks, the overall risk zone has been relatively stable. It has not been widening. It's not been pressurizing anywhere. So it appears that right now there's just a nice steady stream of magma moving through the rift zone and erupting at Fissure 8.
And sorry, remind me when the last time, what date was the newest fissure?
I don't have that information right at the top of my head. So I think the newest fissure was number 24. And we'd have to go back through some of our regular updates to see when that particular fissure, what date it formed. I don't have that at the top of my head.
It's okay, thanks.
So as a follow-up to that question about whether new fissures are possible, one of the things that we try to focus our field efforts on, both during our overflights, which we do 3 times a day now, and also during our field work in the area, is to try to track formation of the existing or the development of the existing ground cracks, whether they're widening or extending a longer distance, how much steam may be coming out of those ground cracks, and even the temperature, as a way to try to anticipate perhaps those cracks becoming a new fissure, active fissure. And so far, we've not seen very much change in those ground cracks just uprift of where the fissure complex is located right now.